This podcast is brought to you by Flipper, a marketplace to buy and sell websites, stores, and digital real estate. Plot your own path. Become a boss by buying a small online business at Flipper. Simply visit flipper.com/techtalks for a free consultation and 50% off fees. That's FLIPPA, flipper.com/techtalks. If you do visit, let me know how you get on. But now, let's get the show started.
Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. Now, during the last few months, I have felt in a quite reflective kind of mood on that, especially because of how much life has changed, because there's been no Glastonbury Festival for me to go out and see my favourite bands and artists. In fact, I haven't seen a single concert since I saw The National late last year. And my last tech conference was in Chicago back in March, and I can't even see my favourite football team, Derby County. But judging by the results, I don't think I've missed too much there. But as a fan, that's pretty depressing. But it's much bigger than just me, or indeed anyone listening, because entire industries are suffering right now from exhibitions, sports, conferences, concerts, and the list goes on and on. So as sports leagues start thinking about the live stream viewing experience and what it will look like for fans, organisations now have to not only consider if platforms are capable of supporting the influx of people that are going to be tuning in from home, but also how they're going to be able to replicate that in-person fan experience at home. And the future of this at-home viewing experience can be taken to the next level, but only if games are delivered in real time and synchronous streams. And when that happens, the opportunities to engage viewers is endless, from trivia games to switching camera angles and even selling merchandise. So as all the sporting leagues begin to play again, ensuring that teams are able to live stream to their fans, especially those fans that have cut the cord, is going to be essential in keeping their viewers engaged, while also keeping revenue up for all the brands involved. It's a huge topic. I think we're only going to scratch the surface today, but buckle up and hold on tight. So I can beam your ears all the way to Connecticut, where Jed Corenthal from Phenix, which is a real-time streaming technology platform, is going to tell us all about this and much, much more. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure. It's my pleasure, Neil. I appreciate you having me. My name is Jed Corenthal. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Phenix Real-Time Solutions. Basically, Phenix is a technology infrastructure that has built IP solutions for video streaming. Our basic value proposition is that we are able to stream video content with less than half a second of video latency, so it's almost negligible. We do that in broadcast quality, so you're seeing the picture at the highest quality possible, 1080p, soon to be 4K when the browsers allow it, as well as in sync. And what that means basically, Neil, is that everybody, regardless of where they are in the world, regardless of their internet connection or device, are able to watch the content at the same time as everybody else is watching it. So there's no spoilers, there's no, you're seeing a goal happen before I am, things of that nature. So we've solved a lot of the problems that many of the streaming providers today have not been able to solve.
Wow, that is quite a challenge, because I know over here in the UK, Amazon Prime started streaming some Premiership games earlier this year, but everyone was impressed with the service. Everyone was very happy, but the problem they had, that we're getting all the alerts for their goals about 20 seconds before they've actually seen it on the screen.
That's right.
It is a tough thing to achieve, isn't it?
It's extremely tough, and since we've been doing this, the company's been around about 6 years. We've seen everybody try their best at recreating what we've tried to do, and There are several companies that are able to do pieces of what we do, but when you put it all together and roll it up in a nice little package, that's when it makes it very difficult. You can't just throw $100 million and 100 engineers at the problem, say, okay, go solve it, and then they do. It's much more complex than that, and you really have to have a true understanding of what it is that you're achieving and how you do it.
And I have been lucky enough to have Manchester United and Real Madrid on here, and they were talking about the very real problem if they've got a 90,000-seater stadium where they can get their fans into. But of course, on match day, they actually need to broadcast to 5 million fans, or I can't remember the exact figure, but it was millions of fans. And of course, now as sporting leagues resume, they haven't even got that. So can you tell me a little bit more about how organisations are not only consider if platforms are capable of supporting the influx of people tuning in from home and all around the world, but also how they're able to replicate that in-person fan experience in their home?
Absolutely. I think that because of our technology and what we've been able to achieve, we actually, you could say that we bring the stadium to your home. We're able to stream in such a fast speed and with such minimal latency. It's almost as though you're watching the game at the same time as if you were in the stadium, which may or may not be good for those who are selling tickets in the future. But fortunately, you still can't recreate that live experience. So I don't think that will ever be an issue. But the idea, though, of being able to sit in your living room or walk on a street on the go with your mobile device and have almost the same experience as if you were in the stadium is pretty unique. And with real time and with our SyncWatch, our synchronized technology, you can watch or co-watch with your friends. You're all watching at the same time. To your point, nobody's seeing a goal before anybody else is. So it really leads to sort of a social watching experience.
And although I am located in the UK, I am seeing all the news from over there in the US about the NBA bubble and the not so great food that some of the players are enjoying at Walt Disney World. But what role do you think technology is going to play in this return as NBA gets up and running?
Yeah, the whole bubble effect is very interesting. Listen, I think technology is going to play a big effect because, to your point earlier, there aren't going to be the fans watching, and they're going to play in sort of empty arenas or courts. So I think that being able to kind of recreate experience, whether it be pumping in music or faking fans on site, and also giving fans different types of features while they're watching on their devices, I think is going to be even more crucial. One of the features that we've just developed is a multi-camera angle feature. So if for instance, you're watching your NBA game on your mobile device, in theory, you could become like your own little director. You could we could provide feeds from 4 or 5 different camera angles, and you as the user could choose which camera angle you want to watch at a given time. So I think that type of technology is really going to play a big role.
And of course, the average fan, all they care about is their team and seeing how they adapt to these changes. But how essential is it in keeping all viewers engaged and essentially the revenue up for all the brands involved? Because it's huge businesses, isn't it, this?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the brands are I mean, you've got the broadcasters who are paying exorbitant rights fees to have access to the content. And then you have all of the supporting sponsors and licensees that are paying fees to partner with that particular league or sport in order to get their message across. They're figuring, well, this is the right partner for us to get our message across. But it's going to be much more of a struggle. I know one of the things that I've seen from some of the European matches is, where fans were sitting in the stadiums, they've put big banners, big signage, and to try and get some of the exposure that they're losing on site with fans and whatnot. So I think that they're trying to get and be creative with how they promote their brand and promote their messaging. It's a very interesting dynamic on how you create some of this, and it'll be interesting to see that when fans do come back, how much of this sponsorship inventory will stay even beyond the pandemic. I think some will.
And can you tell me a little bit more about how you made real time at scale a reality, and how at Phenix you solved the problem of this sub-second latency that you talked about at scale? Because I'm fascinated by the technology behind it and how you've managed to solve this problem, because we all know some big streaming companies out there that have got that problem. So the fact that you've gone out there and solved it with technology, I think it needs to be shouted about. So how did you do that?
Yes, let's shout, let's yell, scream at the top of our lungs. I mean, the truth is that, we have a founder of our company. His name is Dr. Stefan Barrère, who comes from Switzerland, and he came over to the States about 20 years ago on a Siemens scholarship. And he has been in the streaming space for 20 years, and he is a truly unique individual, and the knowledge base that he has is far superior to most others in the space. And he basically made a bet 6 years ago when we started the company that fans would want to watch their content in real time. And the technology or the protocol that had existed that started about a year or two before our company, which is known as WebRTC, stands for Web Real-Time Communication, was really in its infancy. None of the browsers supported it, and it was really kind of a very low-key protocol. But he made the bet that real-time communication would be what fans want in the future. So he basically rebuilt the technology from the ground up. It's like he took the car apart and then rebuilt it bigger, better, faster, stronger. And that's how we're able to achieve this, this low latency, and how we can achieve it at scale, which is highly unusual, because a lot of companies have maybe been able to solve the scale issue, or maybe they can drop their latency down quite a bit. But once you bring both of them in together, it really changes dynamic and makes it much more complex.
And when we first started this conversation, I shared you with my example of I was getting alerts on my phone about my team before I'd actually seen the goal on the pitch. But assuming that you've actually delivered this real-time asynchronous stream and solved that problem, how do you think the future of this at-home viewing experience can be taken to the next level? And what do you see there?
Well, I think that, when you have the ability to essentially recreate that stadium feel, that stadium feed, if you will, in your home, well, then you can start, having sort of co-watching and social viewing and social watching, and creating different private rooms for your friends to all come in and watch the game together and chat and talk. Perhaps you want to buy that Manchester United jersey from your favorite player while you're watching the game. We have the ability to provide overlays like that, so you never leave the screen, you never leave the game, but you can still make some e-commerce purchases. You can chat. You can maybe there's a contest or a poll that you want to enter, and maybe that poll gives you a chance to win tickets to a future game, meet the players, all those types of things. So I think that the opportunities are limitless, and the more you start thinking about them, the more there are.
And just to help everyone listening understand what you're doing here, who are your customers? Who are you serving? Are there any partnerships you can talk about?
Sure. So right now I can mention a couple in the UK actually. So we're right now working with companies like Stats Perform and RMG, Racecourse Media Group, on streaming all of their horse and greyhound racing around the UK and Ireland. We're handling horse and greyhound racing for a company called SIS, or Sports Information Systems. We're doing some work here in the States for companies like Disney and ABC. We streamed the Oscars last year. We just did a show called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, a trivia game post-show. So we're doing a lot of different things in the sports and the entertainment space. We're right now talking to a couple of pretty big music artists about streaming their concerts in real time around the world. So it's a pretty exciting time for us, actually.
It really sounds like it. What I love is how varied your work is. It's not just sports, it's also music and entertainment and so many different areas, which I would imagine would create a lot of opportunities in different industries. So what opportunities to engage viewers do you see in the future?
Well, I think, just take music, for example. It's very interesting because before the pandemic, I wouldn't say music was a priority for us because it didn't seem like what we were doing was the best fit for music. But since we're stuck in this, this at-home world and artists really can't tour like they used to, they're also stuck at home, but they still want to engage with their fans and they still want to play and showcase their talents and have some fun playing music. So what we're seeing is the ability to stream some music concerts. For instance, we did a couple of shows with the artist Erykah Badu in April, and we streamed 2 of her concerts to about 200,000 fans. They all bought tickets, and part of the ticket fee went to one of her favorite charities. Fans were able to engage with her. She put up things like, what song do you want to hear next? And people would vote on what song they wanted to hear next. And, those are all things that really only can be done with our technology. So we're starting to see a lot more of that come to the front.
I've had countless emails from listeners over the last few weeks talking about their fears and concerns around job security, while also seeing their interest rates on their savings drop considerably. And as a result, many are beginning to look at how they can invest in their future in an uncertain time. Could digital assets be the answer? Now, you might remember that I spoke to Blake Hutchinson, CEO at Flipper, on episode 1194 about how to buy digital assets and websites. In a nutshell, Flipper is a marketplace that you can buy and sell websites, stores, and digital real estate that are just ready to go. So if you do have dreams of running your own successful online business, or perhaps you're looking to exit your existing online business, my friends at Flipper can help you buy and sell. So if you're interested and want to find out more, please visit flipper.com/techtalks. That's FLIPPA.com/techtalks for a free consultation and also 50% off all fees. But now, back to the interview. And for anyone listening that would like to find out a bit more information about the work that you're doing, what's the best way of finding you guys online, and equally contacting your team if they do have any additional questions?
Absolutely. Best way is to just go right to our website. We have all the information there. We have an email you can send us and find information. Our website is www.phenix, and that's spelled not like the city. There's no O, so it's PHENIXRTS.com, phenixrts.com.
Excellent. Well, I'll add those links to the blog post that will accompany this podcast episode for people listening all over the world. And one thing that I think everyone listening, wherever they are in the world, have got in common is they can't go see their favourite sports team. They can't go see their favourite artist in concert. So ensuring that they're able to live stream and see what they need to see and cheer on their favourite band or team, especially those people that have cut the cord as well, is essential in keeping the entire ecosystem going as well as the viewers engaged and revenue up for all the brands involved. It's such a big thing that you've accomplished here. I'd love to stay in touch with you and see where it all leads and maybe get you on a little bit later on in the year. But more than anything, just thanks for joining me today, Jed.
Thank you so much, Neil. I really appreciate it and enjoyed it, and hope we can do it again soon.
So a big thank you to Jed there for sharing what platforms must prioritise in order to seamlessly deliver those virtual experiences that are going to keep fans like you and me happy, that we don't always know what's going on behind the curtain. And if games are delivered in real time and synchronous streams, then the opportunity to engage with viewers and fans are completely endless. But all that is only possible if the live stream technology is up to par. And I've already mentioned a couple of times the experience I had with a football game. There was a similar one with a boxing match. I think it was Tyson Fury and Wilder. And I was hearing about the knockdowns on my phone before I was actually seeing it on the TV. So the fact that that problem has been eradicated has got to be a great thing. And as someone that loves sports, music, exhibitions, travel, and all those things that we all miss in life, what they're doing here really excites me. And the fact that their technology shined by streaming things like the Oscars and talking with so many big companies really does make me think that this is one to watch closely. So remember where you heard Phenix first. And if you've got anything you'd like to share on this topic, or indeed anything at all, please email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, tweet me at Neil C. Hughes, and my website is techblogwriter.co.uk. So all this talk of streaming's making me want to go stream something now. What am I going to watch today? I think I've reached that age where it takes me longer to choose what to watch than actually watch anything. So I better go early. I will make my excuse and go now, and I'll report back tomorrow. So a big thank you for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.